From families living in fear on the streets of New Orleans and Minnesota to communities building hope from nothing, it is a sharp reminder that what's happening at the top affects everyone, but in very different ways. And speaking of the top, let's switch gears for a second. Not far from politics nor policy affecting real lives, there's another kind of fight going on right now, one in the boardrooms and courtrooms in corporate America. Companies like Costco aren't facing raids or fear in their neighborhoods. They are facing tariffs, policy changes, and decisions coming straight from the Trump administration. But make no mistake, the game is the same: power, rules, and money. And someone always has to hold the line. All right, let's set the stage here. Because this isn't just chatter, some of the biggest companies in America are suing the Trump administration. And they're coming more than just a refund. They want their money back, and they need it by Monday. Companies like Costco, Revlon, Bumblebee Foods, Kawasaki, and Luxottica, a full corporate lineup, all filing lawsuit over emergency tariff imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And they are sending a clear message: run me my refund, and while you're at it, we're going to need that back with interest. The anchor is Costco Wholesale Corporation, which filed on November the 28th, 2025, in the U.S. Court of International Trade in Manhattan. The case is Costco Wholesale Corp versus the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. They argue that the tariffs were unlawful, claiming IEEPA doesn't give the president authority to levy broad import duties. Here's what Costco wants: full refund on all tariffs paid, interest on top because the government held the money for years, a block on future tariffs collection while the case proceeds. Here is what we know about the critical deadline, which is December the 15th, 2025. After that, import entries get finalized, making refunds harder if lawsuits aren't filed. Now, other companies have joined the fight. You know that saying goes, strength in numbers. Companies like Revlon, Bumblebee, Kawasaki, Luxottica, and several Japanese affiliates, including Toyota, Ricoh, and Yokohama. The Supreme Court is already reviewing the legalities of the emergency tariffs in consolidated case, meaning the stakes are national and not just corporate. This isn't just about money, it's about power, limits, and accountability. If presidents can impose tariffs without Congress, every business, from your uncle's import hustle to global giants, become a collateral damage and a political experiment, and companies, they are absolutely done being experimented on. Now, Costco walked into the court like, yeah, we sell $1.50 hot dogs and 70-inch TVs, but don't get it twisted. We understand litigations too, and if you want to fuck around, then fuck around and find out. The interest, that's the corporate equivalent of showing up with receipts. You didn't just take my money, you borrowed it. Like Paulie said it best in Goodfellas. Now, fuck you, pay me. And when Japanese companies stepped in, Toyota, Ricoh, and Yokohama, that's not just a lawsuit, that's a corporate uprising. Here's the truth: even the biggest government decisions have to answer to somebody. Even presidents have boundaries. Even corporations, when pushed too hard, will show up and say, listen, I'm going to need my money, and I'm going to need it by Monday. And if the courts side with these companies, we're talking billions in refunds, a reshuffle of trade rules, and a serious reminder that power isn't limitless. And that is why I love covering stories like this. It's messy, loud, high stake, but real. The economy, the law, accountability, all in one courtroom. Let's move on to the next story.